Tony Page here with Jameel McCline. We are inside the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey as we await the main event of the evening. Glad you could join us. A lot of good boxing has been happening so far tonight, but we're all here for the main event to see who walks away as the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship. The combatants, Zab Judah, 46-0 with 27 big KOs. Kaiser Mabuza from South Africa, 23-6-3 with 14 KOs. Judah from Brooklyn, New York. Kaiser Mabuza's people said, I hope they polish the belt because we're looking to take it back to South Africa.
Very beautiful looking belt there.
That's what it's all about. Fighters want that hardware.
That's what it's all about. It's all about the hardware. You're absolutely right.
Inside the very pretty Prudential Center in downtown Newark.
And it looks like they're fighting for the vacant title here.
Yep. Number one, number two contenders, the best fighting the best. That's all you can ask for in boxing.
The IBF Welterweight Championship of the world. And here comes Mabuza to the ring.
He said it would mean so important to him to win the title. He says it's his time. But he said to take the title back to Johannesburg, South Africa, he said it would be the greatest thrill of his life. He said his country would be so proud of him, and he's coming here to bring it back home.
He's got the pressure of an entire country behind him and on his shoulders here tonight. He says that he's very happy and very willing to take that challenge on. He's very, very willing to represent his country for the IBF Welterweight Championship of the world.
I wonder what's more pressure, representing all of South Africa or representing Brooklyn?
Very good question.
We'll find out a little later tonight.
Yeah, we will.
And as we await the ring walk of Zab Judah, former undisputed welterweight champ, being trained by one of the all-time great fighters, Hall of Famer Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Had a good camp. He used to call Zab Judah Pernell Whitaker Jr. Sparred with Zab when he was 15 years old.
Sparred with the greatest. Zab Judah says that tonight he wants to win the world championship again for the 5th time.
Just one for the thumb, as they used to say in Pittsburgh. And there he is, Zab Judah.
Very focused, very ready to fight tonight, both fighters. This will be an exciting night of boxing.
Pernell Whitaker was trying to teach Zab, and he said they picked up on it, that it's called boxing. Hit and don't get hit. It's not called knockout. That's a game. Former welterweight champ Mark Breland in the house.
You have Pernell Whitaker, the infamous, famous, one of the greatest welterweights of all time. Pernell Whitaker helping out.
Right there on the left.
Helping out in Zab Judah's camp.
There's Mabuza. Very focused, very soft-spoken, but as you said, the pressure to win a title is the tail of the tape. Zab Judah 3 years older, a couple inches shorter. Mabuza 1 pound weight advantage. The height, the reach 2 inches to Mabuza.
You know, Zab just came over.
And first, excuse me, Jameel, 3 knockdown rules in effect is not in effect. No standing 8 count cannot be saved by the bell of any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. Getting ready to send it up to ring announcer Joe Antonacci for all the particulars.
Boxing fans, ladies and gentlemen, Main Events and Super Judah Promotions present live from AmeriHealth Pavilion at Prudential Center, our main event of the evening. Tonight's main event is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. Aaron Davis, your commissioner. Tony Orlando, chairman. Dennis McDonough and Stephen Katz, board members. And our timekeeper at the bell for our main event, Jason Robinson. Boxing fans, here we go. 12 rounds of action for the vacant IBF Junior Welterweight Championship. IBF supervisor in attendance, William James. Our judges for our main event, Dion Duarte, Robert Grasso, and Shafiq Rashada, and our referee, Sammy Virouette. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to us tonight from Johannesburg, South Africa. He weighed in at 139 pounds and wears white trunks with red trim. Professional record, 23 victories, 6 defeats, 3 draws, and 14 wins by knockout. Please welcome Kaiser, the Animal Mabuza. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He comes to us tonight from Brooklyn, New York. He weighed in at 138 pounds. Purple trunks, silver trim, professional record, 40 victories, only 6 defeats, 27 wins by knockout. Please welcome 3-time world champion Zab Super Judah. Our referee Sammy Virouette has our fighters' final instructions.
Everybody out. Everybody out. 2 seconds only. Mabuza. Zab. Okay, you got your instructions in the corner. Obey my commands at all times. Expect a clean fight. Protect yourself. Fight hard. Fight clean. Touch them up.
12 rounds for the vacant IBF Junior Welterweight Championship.
So here we go. 12 rounds for the vacant IBF Junior Welterweight Championship. Jamil, this should be a good one. A little buzz in the room.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz in this room here tonight, Tony. I'll tell you. I saw Zab Judah come over. Here we go. I saw Zab Judah come over, and when he came into the ring to touch gloves with Mabuza, Mabuza wanted no part of that. Wanted no part of friendliness and sportsmanship. He just wanted to get it on. And now, here we are, getting it on.
Zab Judah is a very dangerous fighter. First half of the fight. Tremendous quick hands gave Floyd Mayweather fits. Great power. But his trainer, Pernell Whitaker, talked to him about not getting hit. Just hit and don't get hit. Use your speed. Zab, as you see, is a southpaw, working that right jab. Mabuza coming forward. It's funny, Mabuza didn't come out of his corner. He just kind of took 2 steps and waited for Zab to come to him.
Part of his game plan, I'm sure, is to have the fighter come to him, but it looks like he's the one who's chasing, following Zab Judah around the ring now.
That was a Pernell Whitaker move right there. That
Yes,
dip.
it was.
Both fighters feeling each other out, trying to work behind the jabs.
Everyone watching intently, trying to see what's going to happen, see what Zab's going to do, see what Mabuza might try to pull off here tonight. Mabuza said he's been in camp since December, getting ready for this fight.
Zab seemed to know all about the Mabuza. His last fight was Mabuza's last fight was a big one. He was a big underdog against Kendall Holt, knocked out Kendall Holt. He said, I was an underdog. As you know, Pernell Whitaker doesn't. When he fought, he didn't look at tapes. I think as a trainer, he looked at a few of the tapes of Mabuza, especially the Kendall Holt fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he likes to he likes to watch tapes, and he likes his fighters to be prepared. Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker did mention that working with Zab was a pleasure, that he listens to everything he has to say, that he's refocused, rededicated spiritually, mentally, physically, and he's just here tonight to pick up the 5th title.
Zab landed a couple of good shots. I'm looking at Mike Tyson across the ring. He's yelling and screaming at Zab already, giving him instructions. Mabuza putting on the pressure. Zab trying to set up that jab from the outside.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Using jab. Watch your head. Turn to the side. All right? You're beautiful. Stepping around. The jab is the key in that left hand. All right? You got past that first man. Now it's your time. You know what he's going to do. You know what he's trying to do. Stay down. Let him go past. Now
You see Whitaker giving instructions to the fighter, and
keep going side to side.
it's very interesting watching his father just sitting there, Joel Judah taking letting Pernell give the instructions, which is very different. I've always felt that Zab, such a great fighter, then he hit a hard road there, and I always felt that he needed something different in his training camp. But he's very loyal to his father, and he stayed with him for so long. But now, as I said, he's rededicated to the business of boxing, not just the ego of boxing.
Here we go at round number 2. Kaiser Mabuza in the white, Zab Judah in the purple. Tony Page along with Jameel McCline. We're here at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. IBF Junior Welterweight Championship. Vacant title on the line. Mabuza rated number 1, Zab rated number 2. Mabuza seems like he's picking up the pace, coming in behind his left jab. Good right hand by Mabuza. And Mabuza's corner's yelling out, close the distance. So he's trying to cut off the ring on Zab, who's up on his toes, moving to his right.
What he's doing is he's following him as opposed to cutting off the ring.
Yeah.
He's not stepping over to cut off the ring. I mean, in other words, he's not walking toward the ropes. In fact, yet he's following him around, giving Zab a way out.
Mabuza should be stepping more to his left to just stop.
Correct.
Judah, make him go back the other way. Clash of heads.
Little clash of heads there. You know, Tony, as I said earlier, this is something I never did. I never stopped and waited for the ref to decide anything. And I'd like to see more fighters to take that attitude. Protect yourself at all times.
Good jab by Mabuza. We've seen Zab come out in the past very explosive. Quick left hand. Seems like he's taking his time. I asked him, did he need a knockout? He said, I think he liked one. Mabuza doesn't care. He just wants a decision to take a win. But I think Zab, we'll see if there's any explosiveness coming as the rounds go on.
You know, it was a great observation, Tony. Zab always comes out much more aggressive and much faster and harder than he did tonight. So again, I think he's refocused, rededicated to the business of boxing.
He used to run out of gas, it seemed like, or just hit a bump in the road in the middle of the fight. Maybe he's just saving the gas tank now to come on strong later.
One of the greatest fighters in the world in Zab Judah.
He wants to be pound for pound again. At 33, it remains to be seen, but at least he has that goal. And he's given himself to religion.
Really nice body shots there by Mabuza.
Mabuza coming on late in the round. Less than 20 seconds to go, round number 2, scheduled 12. Mabuza pounding away in his own corner. Showing his toughness. Zab just not throwing any punches.
Right there, you know what? Because you're aiming here. Aim here. Don't aim here. Aim here. Because he's moving it all time. If you miss, not a problem. Bonus time is body. Deep breath out. You hurt him in the body. Doesn't like the body.
And here you have Mabuza coming in really hard, trying to get these body shots off, slow Zab down a little bit. What happens is if you go to the body early in the fight against a fighter like Zab Judah who likes to move, like Mabuza just did, you will slow the fighter down toward the end of the fight. And those shots that you were throwing to the body to slow him down, what you'll do is you'll bring them up to the chin and possibly score a knockout.
One at a time.
Here we go, round number 3. Zab Judah in the purple, Kaiser Mabuza in the white, red trim, the tassels. Tony Page along with Jamil McCline, big time McCline. Nice little right hand by Mabuza. Coming forward, throwing punches. Looking for Zab to open up soon, but so far not yet. Mabuza putting the pressure. Nice overhand right hand by Mabuza.
It looks as if Zab Judah is playing around in there, but he's not. It's just his style, and it's more, and it's a lot of what Pernell Whitaker has worked with him over the last 3-4 months. Just getting down, staying low, right in front of your fighter, which only the talented fighters can get away with.
Now, Zab said Pernell said all he had to do with Zab was fine-tune him when we talked to him. Might he have fine-tuned him too much that he's a mirror image of Pernell, more defensive? Because Pernell didn't have the pop that Zab does. Or he's just holding the firepower till later in the fight?
Well, I'll tell you, if he is holding himself back, and he's being a lot more like Pernell Whitaker, add in Zab Judah's power, we have a dangerous combination.
This is with the right hook. Good right hand by Kaiser Mabuza. His hand gets caught in the ring support. I remember in Pernell Whitaker's heyday, he would stand right in front of a fighter and he'd throw 6 punches and couldn't hit him. I see a little bit of that in Zab, but even Pernell, without the pop, would fire back.
Right. I see what you're saying. I'd like to see, I've always said, sometimes I'd like to see Zab throw more punches, but I think he's doing really well here tonight. I think it's very deceiving, Mabuza's power. Mabuza, I think, has a tremendous amount of power in his punches, and what Zab is doing is trying to stay out of the way of that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep. Still waiting for Zab to open up a little bit. It's Kaiser who's on the offensive right now. Punches are landing. Nice little left hand.
I think Mabuza is definitely walking Zab down as opposed to following him down. Now it looks more like he's just walking him down.
In the last round, Zab was moving away from him. Now he's just kind of moving back.
Correct.
Zab open up, but not yet. Straight left. Wobbled him a little bit, maybe.
Wonderful movement by both fighters.
Slow it down. I told you. This is good. Hey, well, keep remembering, you got to stay down. All right? You got to jab touching the touching. You got to bring that up, bring it all the way up. All right? If you don't want to take it down here, bring it up. Like you do in the past. Shoot it up.
Breathe, slow it down, Yummy. Keep your head on.
Jab and hit the body.
Okay. Right then. He deliberately forced him out, come left hook in the body. You hear me?
Don't switch.
He's moving there. Boom, boom, step. Step, boom, boom. Understand?
But don't
you got it.
Don't switch.
Don't switch. Okay.
Catching.
I don't want you switching now.
Here's some of the key of what Zab Judah has to do tonight to be successful. He throws a good jab, then he throws 3 jabs right after that. And then he throws that left hand and throws Mabuza off balance a little bit. I don't know. And there he does it again. Comes right out and does it again. I guess it's something they've been working on, Tony.
Well, I gave that last round of the Mabuza because I thought he won the first 2 minutes, maybe more, and Zab came on. Now you see the explosiveness of Zab, the power shots to the body, up to the head. Maybe just was feeling out Mabuza for a couple of rounds, and now he's going to drop that power and see what happens. I thought he wobbled Mabuz in the last round a little bit, but he seems to be finding the range now. Zab back up on his toes. He saw a little shoulder roll. That's another Pernell Whitaker trick, but I think that might be Judah also.
Yeah. You know, as I said, it looks like Mabuz is stalking Zab. I'm not sure if he is actually stalking Zab or is Zab allowing him to think he's stalking him. That still remains to be seen.
Zab's starting to open up the offense a little bit. More aggressive now. Mabuz a little wild with his punches. Mabuz is slowly coming forward. Zab back on his feet, moving around. I know you like to look in fighters' eyes. What do you see in these two guys right now?
I see absolute determination and absolute willingness by both fighters to do whatever it takes to come home with that championship tonight. Without a doubt, that is what I see in their eyes.
Zab may be 33, but you can teach an old dog new tricks. You see that defensive presence, and that's Pernell Whitaker's trademark on him right now.
He's very alert,
Nice right hand by Mabuz right down the pipe.
Zab is very alert. You can see his forehead. His forehead is very wrinkled. His eyes are very wide. He's very focused right now. He's alert. He's watching everything.
His ground hit, his glove hit the camera. Is it going to count as a knockdown? Yes. His glove, I know he slipped. He was off balance.
That was a slip.
Yep. But that happens. The same thing happened to Floyd Mayweather when he slipped and he touched the ground.
Well, let's see, Tony, if Zab stays under control.
Yes.
Let's see if he keeps his composure, because he was very upset with what he felt was a mistake call. So now we just got to see if he's going to stay focused and continue. Beautiful movement there again.
5 seconds to go here, round number 4.
Don't worry about that. Look. You barely missing it with that puppet. Keep trying it. Keep doing it. I need you to look. Take it down to the bottom.
Do it again.
And your left hand with that 1-2, throw that 1-2. Get 2 jabs, bring the left hand. And then take it to the body. All right?
He win.
Don't worry.
Now here's the replay of that knockdown. Let's see if he did hit him, and yes, Zab did get his feet crossed. His feet did get crossed, and
the punch was more of a forearm to the neck, but it caused him to go off balance, loses.
Was it the power that knocked him down? No, but technically his hands did touch the ground, so it was a knockdown. And coming down the stretch later, I tell you, that last round may come into play, being that it was a 10-8 round.
Now I gave it a 9-9. I
think so too. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was more of a 9-9 round because
Zab was winning, and you take a point away.
And then he came back after the knockdown and still did well.
And we saw Zab lose his cool against Kostya Tszyu many years ago, and it seemed like he was losing his cool for a minute, but he's back. Refocused.
Again, I think Zab is definitely in the business of boxing now, no longer in the business of ego. Older, stronger, smarter, more effective Zab Judah.
Well, this seems like the old Zab with the power and the straight shots. Mabuz is coming forward, dropping his right hand a little bit as he comes in.
I think Mabuz definitely has a lot of power. Zab does not want to get hit tonight by some of these shots that Mabuz is throwing.
People always worried about Zab's chin. Dropped against Keys in the last fight. Seems to come back from it. His quick punches. He has the hand speed. Always has that.
You know, you mentioned Zab Judah's chin. You know, Mabuza hasn't yet to get a chance to put his hands on Zab's chin. There he is playing a little bit, letting Mabuza know that he is one of the greatest fighters in the world.
Look at that great defense right there. That's 3 shots in a row. Mabuza's missed. And he lands a kind of slapping right rather. Mabuza's switching southpaw, trying to upset Zab a little bit. Nice straight left by Zab. Backed up Mabuza. Nice little short right hand. Mabuza winds up with his punches when he has Zab cornered. He should tighten up, shouldn't he? Just quick shot.
Those shots should come right off the chin. You know, my trainers would always say, off the chin, off the chin, off the chin. What that means is all your shots are coming right off of your chin as opposed to cranking back and then throwing.
The great featherweight Willie Pep won a round once without throwing a punch. I think Zab could do that. Still has the reflexes. Look at that.
There's the Super Judah showing his skills. Making Mabuza miss, coming back with a few shots, tying him up wisely when he falls off balance.
Big and shocked by Zab Judah. We come to the end of round 5.
And we dying out on it. We dying out on it. That's what we're going to do.
Let it in and out slow. Remember,
Look,
do it again.
that's a beautiful jab. That's a beautiful jab. And you're getting down.
When he's by the rope like this, just stick back. Don't fight.
Get out of danger when you stick.
You know, Tony, as we were talking about earlier, Zab Judah's defense is just absolutely amazing. How you said, wow, you know, he's making a miss, he's standing right in front of him, making a miss. Sort of reminiscent of the great Pernell Whitaker, who is now his trainer. And toward the end of the round, you have Zab Judah not only doing that great defense, but coming back with a great body shot and great body work, trying to take Mabuza off balance.
And we go round number 6. Zab Judah, the purple, came skipping out of his corner, ready to go back to battle. Kaiser Mabuza in the white back to following Zab around the ring. Tony Page along with Jamil. We're inside the Prudential Center here in Newark, New Jersey. Glad you could join us. Zab seems to be picking up the offense a little bit, Jamil. Just more, look at that, good defense again, and can reset himself to throw some more shots. I get the feeling Mabuza doesn't know where he is. Almost landed one there.
Yes, you know, Tony, you're absolutely right. Zab is definitely starting to pick up the offense. Not only that, he's very, very cognizant of what's going on, what he's doing, and where he's at every second of every round, I've noticed.
Both fighters, I think, are picking up the pace a little bit. Zab can, I think he can win a round without throwing a punch. I mean, you land a punch and you miss, the guy hits you, but you make him miss 4 times. To me, you won the round. And that's what, unless you get knocked down, of course. But Zab is really putting on a defensive clinic tonight.
Yes, he is, you know. And again, I think it has a lot to do with him being refocused as a fighter and allowing someone else to take the reins, like the great Pernell Whitaker, as opposed to his father. Nothing against his father.
No.
Nothing against his father, who trained me at one point in my career, and I think he's a tremendous fighter and trained Zab for many, many years. But again, fresh water always brings new life.
Zab Judah in the center of the ring again. Trying to see if he can land a combination, digging some shots inside. Mabuza just following Zab, trying to work his jab, just trying to throw his punches when he gets inside. It seems like Mabuza has such a long way to land a punch. That hurts Zab. Good right hand.
There we go again.
That chin.
Let's see. Let's watch how Zab Judah can keep his composure, if he can keep his composure.
He should be clinching. You should learn that by now. Hold on to the guy. The Blues are coming in, trying to land that one shot. This is an uppercut. 26 seconds to go in the round. Zab gets tagged again. The Blues are just coming forward, determined just to land one good shot, turn the fight around.
Both fighters are in great shape here tonight, Tony. You can see it. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in their breathing. You can see it in their movement.
Good round from Abuza.
Catch that second win. Look. All right, listen. Stay cool, stay comfortable. Stay comfortable. Stay comfortable. Good. Just stay comfortable. Stay in control. Hey, look, get down. You got to put your chin down. When you're down, like, I want that chin down.
You know, Tony, we were talking earlier about, I'm not really sure if Bulls is stalking Zab or if Zab is letting him think he's stalking him. And it looks like a little bit of both. It looks like he is stalking him and at the same time throwing good shots at Zab. And with this shot here, he hurt Zab just a little bit. There's Zab, back on his heels a little bit after that right hand. But it looks like he got it together and came back and fought hard for the end of the round there. And he's coming out very strong here.
Now I just saw something I've never seen before. Between the 6th and the 7th round, Zab Judah goes to his corner, sits down, stands up in the middle of the instructions, and then sits back down.
Well, he's just very anxious, and oftentimes what a lot of people don't understand is when you sit down in that corner, your cup pushes up into your abdomen, making it difficult for you to breathe. And oftentimes you see trainers pulling fighters.
Oh, what a shot! What a shot! He's out. He's out. Look at that. He's out. We can't.
Good right hand. Why is this fight being stopped?
He's on his feet. This is dangerous. He is out on his feet. He is out on his feet.
Why is this?
He's not even looking. That's it. That's it.
Great fight, and the great Zab Judah is coming on.
Oh, he's out.
That's it. Zab Judah again. The IBF welterweight champion of the world.
Junior welterweight champ of the world. That one-shot power. He used his defense to set him up all fight. Looked like he was just setting a trap. One shot changed it.
Took his time, set it up, worked hard, showed the world that he is still one of the greatest fighters in the world.
You can't teach power, but you can teach defense. He learned his defense, and he implemented that with his power. Look at the result. What a shot!
I can't even tell you. I'm very, very happy for this kid because again, he rededicated himself mentally, physically, spiritually, and came in here tonight, and he is the 5-time world champ. 5-time world champ, and Kathy Duva, Yoel Judah, Zab Judah, they're all happy.
Look at that.
They deserve it.
Pernell Whitaker did a great job in implementing the defensive plan.
I mean, that defense, Tony, you kept mentioning how wonderful he looked, how different he looked with the defense. And it was the defense that won this fight for him.
His defense just set up everything. We got a little concerned when he got stung the last round, but he kept picking up his offense. You saw the little flashes of Zab Judah, but then one quick shot that changed everything. And I was really worried about Kaiser Mabuza because he was wobbling all over the place, and you hate to see a fighter get unnecessarily hurt.
Well,
if it wasn't for the ropes, it would have went down.
Well,
so what a performance.
Well, here's the replay, Tony. And again, Zab was just setting him up, letting him think. Again, we were talking about who was stalking who. was he actually stalking Zab, or was Zab letting him think he was stalking him? And it showed.
He walked into the shot. That was Zab laying the trap.
And it showed that Zab was letting him think he was stalking him. Again, we'll show it again here, where he thinks he's walking Zab down, throws that lazy shot, and then Zab just steps back, and then boom, right on the chin.
And if you notice, Zab is telling Sammy very well, the ref, look at him, he can't continue like this. He's pointing to him. While this fight was going on, watch Mike Tyson. He's in the lower left-hand corner. You'll see him in a minute. There he is in the jacket. As he said, I can't believe I used to do this for a living.
I can't believe he said that he couldn't believe he did this for a living, meaning that he was one of the greatest of all time. There is Zab's mother giving him. Again, Tony, I didn't want to say, the reason why I said, why is he stopping this fight is because when a fighter gets hurt, I mean, protect yourself at all times. Either there's no standing 8 count.
He's taking too many shots right here.
There's no standing 8 count. If you're not gonna be able, if the fight is unable to continue, then the ref should just stop the fight.
There's no return punches. That was my problem. He was getting hit some solid shots. He was trying his best. He's a game fighter. I mean,
game.
He's looking at his corner. That was dangerous. Next thing you know, Zab's right on you.
He didn't even know that Zab was coming back. He didn't even know Zab was coming back. And here Zab just jumped right on him. No boxing, just jumping right on him and just getting his guy out of there. And the ref right here wisely stepped in and stopped the fight, Tony.
Thank God he's okay. Great performance by Zab Judah. Getting ready to send it up to ring announcer Zab.
Boxing fans, set time. 59 seconds of round number 7. Your winner by technical knockout and the new IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the World from Brooklyn, New York, Zab Super Judah.
Well, it was a tremendous fight here tonight. Zab Judah showed the world.
Listen, everybody in the arena, I just want to let you know, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. But I want to thank y'all, this is bigger than just me right now, man. All these people in here know me, man. You watched me for years. I was a different kind of guy. I gave my life to Jesus Christ. I changed my whole life, and look what he did to me. He delivered me. He delivered me. Jesus is great. All praises to Jesus Christ, man. Thank you. Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Again.
Brooklyn, we did it!
At the end of the fight here, when Mabuza gets hurt, I noticed that Mabuza looked at his corner and did not even pay attention to where Zab was coming from. And Zab was on him the second the ref walked away while he was looking over at his corner. So it clearly indicated that he was hurt, that he did not know where he was, that he did not know where his opponent was. And again, it goes back to protect yourself at all times. If you're unable to protect yourself at all times, then you ought not be in there. The ref did a great thing by getting him out of there. Great fight here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at the Prudential Center in New Jersey.
All right. I'm here with the new champion, and new.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Oh, it feels so great. First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for delivering me, man. He delivered me, man. I was saved to serve. My pastor said it in church. He didn't know I went and made the shirt. He said we're a t-shirt generation, and I went and put it on my shirt. I was saved to serve, and look, he delivered me, y'all. 5-time champion of the world. Holla!
Let me ask you, you look a lot like Pernell in there.
Oh, man, was the defense pretty?
Yes.
That's all I want to know. You see my jab? I knew my thing was in the past, I was very anxious. I to get guys out of there early. So I didn't worry about what he did to me earlier. I wanted to just use my jab, figure out my defense, and then pick up my good shots. That's what I did.
When you got dropped, so to speak, with the knockdown, I thought you might lose your cool. You
No.
were cool. Everything was all right.
Like I told you, since I've been saved, the Lord has done something special to me, and I just feel great. I do all credit goes to Jesus Christ, man. Sunday, Pastor Lamb, oh man, I will be there. I will be there. Las Vegas, I'm coming home tomorrow, baby.
You got him with that straight left, right off the shoulder. He was walking in towards you. Was that the game plan to get him to come towards you?
Well, the game plan was just to keep turning them, keep using your jab, put your combinations together, and we were really looking for the uppercut because I knew he walks into it. So I wanted to hit him with the uppercut and just finish him. But it didn't work out like that, and I hit him with the straight left hand. Left hand uppercut, left hand straight. It just all go together. Big shout out to the Potter's house, baby. I'm coming home tomorrow, baby.
When he was hurt, you were pointing to the referee to show him.
7:30 service, I'll be there.
You were showing the referee that he was hurt.
Man, it's not about me. This is about Jesus Christ, man. He delivered me. You guys don't understand, man, what he done in my life. This is bigger than world titles. I got a whole bunch of them. I got 11. This is number 12. This don't make or break me. What changed me is the Lord. I want the whole world to know, all the young kids out there to know. To serve him, love him. He's real. He loves us. Look what he did for me. You guys know me. You watched me for years. I was a knucklehead. Look at me now, man. I changed my whole life, man. And all credit go to him.
Where do you take it from here?
To church, Sunday, Potter's house. If you're in Las Vegas, Sahara Boulevard, come holler at us.
Where do you take it in the ring from here?
I don't know right now. Right now, we're gonna celebrate this service. I'm gonna jump on a flight back to Vegas, and we're gonna go to church tomorrow and serve the Lord some more.
What do you say to your fans in Brooklyn?
I love you. Put the Lord first, and anything's possible. If God could be for you, who could be against you?
Last question, is Pernell Whitaker the trainer of the year?
Pernell Whitaker goes as the greatest trainer. He's the #1 pound best fighter out there, and he gets the #1 trainer of the year in my book. Definitely, and it should be in everybody's book. Y'all seen the defense. I mean, I don't think there's nobody at 140 pounds that's gonna be able to hit me. If you can't hit me, you can't beat me. But if you in Las Vegas, Sahara and Rainbow, we will be there at the Potter's house. Come worship with us, y'all.
Thanks very much, Zab.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I love you.
Zab Judah is talking about how the Lord has saved him, how God has saved him, and how he's come full circle in his life. And it shows. It shows tonight in his win, his victory. He feels great. He looks great. And he also talked about Pernell Whitaker being the coach of the year. And Pernell Whitaker definitely showed, you definitely saw a lot of Pernell Whitaker in there tonight, Tony.
Oh, there was a carbon copy almost. I mean, some of the moves were vintage Whitaker.
I mean, you said a couple times, you're like, he looked just like Whitaker in that move, and you were right, he really did. A lot of those moves where he was right in front of the fighter, just standing there, and as I said, he wasn't as if he was showing off, or he was just staying very calm and doing the Pernell Whitaker defense thing.
So the fight ended in spectacular fashion, Jamil.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, as I said, we weren't sure who was stalking who or who was letting who stalk who, but it looked like Zab was letting this guy, setting this guy up, letting him walk into a shot. And let me tell you something, Zab showed that speed and power and immediately knew he had his fighter out when that right hand came. And again, the fighter didn't really know where he was when the referee called the action back to the center of the ring.
You're absolutely right, and Zab is in his element right now. But number one, he gets great. It shows you what defense can do. Defense set up the knockout. He worked it, laid the trap, did the groundwork. Then he still has the power. The old Zab would have tried to get him out of there in a couple of rounds, and maybe he gets countered and he gets stopped. You saw him get wobbled, but he came back. And Jamil, final words for you.
Final words is that I'm very happy for Zab Judah. He had a great night. Mbanza put up a good fight, but Zab Judah is on his way to be the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
With Pernell Whitaker in his corner, you got defense, you got power. If you can knock guys out, people will come and watch you. For Jamil McCline, Big Time McCline, I'm Tony Page. We're here at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you down the road.